In this video, we will derive the formula for the altitude and area of an equilateral triangle. So the first thing about an equilateral triangle drawn here is it is also equiangular. So all of the angles here, over here, and up top here are all 60 degrees because they have the same measure and add up to 180, and 180 divided by 3 is 60. Next, we've drawn an altitude from the top angle here, perpendicular to the base over here. And we will do a quick proof. All sides of an equilateral triangle are congruent, there and there. And then we have a reflexive side in both of these triangles here and here. And we have a 90-degree angle. So these two triangles on this side and this side are congruent by HL. And then from CPCTC, this segment and this segment are also congruent. And then these two angles here and here are congruent from CPCTC. So they are both 30 degrees, which is half of 60 degrees. You will not need to go through that proof every single time. Just know that if we have an equilateral triangle and we drop an altitude, it splits that equilateral triangle into two 30, 60, 90 triangles here and here. So now if we have an equilateral triangle going back to the sides, then that is S, and down here, we'll show it with the bars, that is S as well. So from there, if this is S, and this is a 30, 60, 90 triangle, then this is 1/2 S, because the side of a 30, 60, 90 triangle across from the 30 is half the hypotenuse. You can also use the proof that we did earlier. Now continuing in a 30, 60, 90 triangle, if the small side is 1/2 S, then the mid side, which also happens to be the altitude of this triangle, is S root 3 over 2, because in a 30, 60, 90, the mid side is the small side times root 3. And that gives us the length of the altitude to an equilateral triangle. To recap more simply, if we drop an altitude in an equilateral triangle, then it splits it into two 30, 60, 90 triangles. So if the sides are all S, then this is 1/2 S times root 3 gives us S root 3 over 2. Make sure you can derive that. Now moving on to the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height, which in this case is 1/2 times the base, which is S as seen here, and then times the height, which is S root 3 over 2. You can see that here. And then that will give us S squared root 3 over 4. And most likely you will not remember this formula on test day right off the top of your head. But if you know that dropping an altitude in an equilateral triangle gives you a 30, 60, 90 on each side, then from S you can get to 1/2 S times root 3 gives us S root 3 over 2. And then you know the area of a triangle and you can derive this. Make sure you know how to do this. It will make your life much easier in geometry if you do. Write this out 2 or 3 times, conquer it, know how to derive this area for an equilateral triangle, and then you can move on.